Yo, what's poppin', people? Cobra Star Green back with you guys in that video today. Your first time finding our channel, you love Ending Explain movie reviews, you guys make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Also like video. Yes, you guys see from our scroll today, we will be doing an Ending Explain and a little movie review. Now the movie review will be no spoilers, but there will be a spoiler movie review that comes out eventually. Maybe once you're watching the video, it's already out, so you guys make sure you click on the spoiler review that we're going to be posting. But today, yeah, we're going to do an Ending Explain first and then the movie review. Now, the Ending Explain could be a little different in everybody's eyes, so we'll talk about it all first. My co-host will be doing the Ending Explain. He'll go on it. And let's just get right into it. Go ahead.
So in the ghost house, Rebecca Hall's character, she is having a drink with her friends to get her mind off of her husband's suicide. And then the conversation inevitably leads to her husband's suicide. So she's talking about whether or not she believes in ghosts, whether or not there's a presence there, and what the last words of her husband were. She explains to the people at the bar that the last words were, there is nothing after you, you're safe now. And she doesn't know what the you're safe now means, but she explains later that she knows what he means by there is nothing after you. She explains to her friend after she gets home that basically she had an accident when she was 17 and that she had died for 4 minutes and then she had came back and there was nothing. It was the tunnel, it was blackness. She explains that to Owen, and Owen and her never really agreed on that. Owen had always been a believer, so to speak. So, as time goes on, she keeps on having daydreams, she keeps on seeing things, she keeps on hearing things, and she believes Owen's presence is there. Which leads her to a house on the other side that she had saw in her dream. And then in that other house, she finds later on that there's bodies underneath the house. So, basically it's implied that Owen had been killing people that looked like her, had been getting all of his pent-up aggression, all of his sinfulness out, and that he had felt very guilty about doing this. From my interpretation, at least. There's another interpretation that this is him tricking the demon that has been following her since her accident at age 17.
That's what I believe is happening. I think that he's killing these people to pretty much trick the demon. He's like, oh, the demon's like, oh, okay, that looks like her. I think you got her. But no, he keeps tricking her. And even the demon at a time says, oh yeah, he was tricking me for a while, but you can keep going there.
So, yeah. Basically to me, this is her telling herself in her mind that there is a demon. This isn't Owen. I've known Owen for 14 years. There's no way he would do this. She keeps on telling herself this. She keeps on blacking out. She's drinking a lot. She's doing a lot. She keeps on seeing things, hearing things, and then inevitably she goes in. She breaks the glass. She's attacked, so to speak, by a ghostly figure, this little demon. At least in her head she is. And then by the next morning, she is on a boat, and she has the gun that Owen used to kill himself. And her friend and the neighbor come by, and they notice that something's amiss, something's wrong. And they find her on the boat, and she's contemplating killing herself. And she inevitably chooses, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to kill myself. Her friend takes her from the boat. They wash up, and she looks at the boat again, and there's nothing. She says there's nothing there. So, yeah.
So, how I interpreted it is the demon, well, they say earlier in the film that our main protagonist here, Beth, it had almost died like when she was 17. She was in a bad car accident, right? I think if you're asking me, the demon got pretty much attached to her, but she was only dead for like maybe 4 minutes, right? So the demon had to find some way to get close to her, right? And hence she chose her boyfriend, right? So the demon gets into this boyfriend's mind, but the boyfriend's finds a way and he tricks the demon. Now, how he tricks the demon is he kills girls that look just like Beth. So it's tricking the demon for a while. Even during the film, the demon even says, "Yeah, he was tricking me for a while, but I eventually caught on." And the reason why Beth's boyfriend Ethan ends up killing himself is because he wanted to protect Beth. He didn't want this demonic presence and all this evilness he had going on because of the demon to be infected and be able to kill his wife and stuff like that. So that's how I interpreted the ending. It was the demon doing everything, but me and you see it just a little bit different.
To me, it's just so strange to be like, yeah, I was tricking a demon.
But
come on.
But the reason why I say that is because of the fact that even the demon says he was getting tricked. Like
there's a certain
point he's like, "Yo, he tricked me."
It's just so goofy.
I know, but you can't think of it like, "Oh, this movie is goofy." You gotta this is what the movie's giving us. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm just going off what the movie is completely giving me.
I know.
So that's how I interpret it. They have a doll. The doll is connected to a demon. That's how I'm interpreting it. Whatever. Yeah, we got a word. But that's how I'm seeing it as, is that the demon got close to her, aka Beth, Rebecca Hall, and it just couldn't fully get her. He goes to the next big thing. Even in the middle of the film, Rebecca even says, aka Beth, she even says like, "Yo, I was passing my bullshit on to my boyfriend," you know. And I think some of that bullshit was the demon. You know, the demon was getting attached. So that's just how I interpreted it as. But we just gonna see different eyes on it. I think it was just the demon doing all the killing. Demon was pretty much forcing her boyfriend Ethan to do all the killing, and he just couldn't take it anymore. Maybe he ran out of girls to kill and find, but so he had to just kill himself. And in that way, he thought he could protect her, but he couldn't at the same time. The demon still got a hold of her, but it ultimately did not win because of the fact that her friend ended up saving her life pretty much. So that's just how I interpret it as. But like I said, we just gonna see it. We just gonna see different eyes. But yeah, that's pretty much the ending explained. And so they hint at this doll in the film and what it can do. It's pretty much like it can cast spells and stuff like that. So that's what the doll can do. But I think the doll is aka like the demon that we see in the film. They don't really go too deep on the demon that we see, other than him just talking through Ethan. So that's pretty much it though. But let's just get into our review. Like, we just gonna talk about it. This is gonna be no spoilers, stuff like that. So you guys get ready to strap in, strap up. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. You know, the premise of this movie, I'm not gonna lie. I go into movies. I go see any horror movie. I don't care what it is. So I was already in the theater once I figured out this was gonna be some horror movie. And watching the trailer on how they were like, it kind of reminded me of like the Invincible Man a little bit, because of the fact that like there was a man,
Invisible Man,
and yeah, that we couldn't see him. That's what I thought. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get something kind of close to that, and we don't really get that. It's more of like, just like there's a demon doing the whole entire thing. So I will say this: Rebecca Hall, her emotions that she throws go throughout the film. Man, I remember the first time I saw her was in Iron Man 3, and I'm like, she stepped up her game here. Rebecca Hall was phenomenal in this film. I loved her character, even though she's a little freaking cuckoo, but you know, she did just lose her boyfriend, so you kind of gotta forgive her at some points. But I did love her character. How do you feel about her character?
She's funny. She's smart.
She wasn't too funny, but you know,
she's funny enough.
She had little moments.
She was, you know, sarcastic, but she was like playful.
Yeah.
She was sympathetic.
Very, very sympathetic.
Very sympathetic. I don't know. I just believed this character.
Yeah, like, and what helped it wasn't no big actor. You know, it wasn't some big actor like somebody.
She's
like,
big, but not big.
She's not
big. Like,
big,
she's not like $2,000.
What I really enjoyed her performance in the film. Even like the supporting character, the supporting actors you see in the film, her best friend and stuff like that, they were even great in the film. Like, they weren't in there too much, but they were in just enough where they were important to the story. I'm gonna go through a couple of cast members really quick, just because I gotta give a big shout out to the cast a little bit. You go ahead and give your thoughts just really quick while I pull this up.
Yeah, so this movie felt goofy at times, though.
Okay.
Like in a wrong way. There was definitely moments where I heard you laughing when I don't think that was
It
the
would,
goal.
yeah, it wasn't intended to be funny.
Yeah,
But there were just
there
some
was
moments that were
where
funny.
I was like, yeah, that's probably not what the movie was aiming for. Which, honestly is not a good sign sometimes.
Yeah.
I felt like at times the jump scares, again, it was just kind of obnoxious
Yeah.
the way they would utilize them, but sometimes it worked. But it was just like, can you not do the fake jump scare again? It's just really obnoxious stuff. I don't like stuff like that.
Going off of that point, I will say that if you were going in here just to get horror, I want to get jump scared. Let me be honest, you don't see too much of that.
Which I kind of like, actually.
Yeah, it was more story driven than anything.
To me, like, this is like a worse Hereditary for me. Like, Hereditary is like good.
And it's just a little bit
Like,
worse.
so here's the difference between Hereditary that makes that work, and also that is paranormal.
Yeah.
But it uses its paranormal in the right way, and it develops its characters, and there's a lot of character drama. This does have some character drama to this character's going through this traumatic thing and having to deal with this. So I think it utilizes it pretty well. But I think the difference in scares for like Hereditary are more subtle throughout, and when it does get like pretty crazy, it gets pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But this never feels like it like pushes it to that level.
The
And when it does, it kind of feels a little more goofy.
Yeah, like if you're gonna go in here and you think you're just gonna get jump scared throughout the entire film, look, I'm gonna tell you, there's not really any good jump scares or anything like that till you hit that third act. That's when the demon comes into play. But as I was watching the film, I'm like, okay, the first two acts really have me on board. It really makes me think, okay, what is the ending of this movie? How is she gonna figure out? Because if you go through the entire movie, she's going through this dream. She's sleepwalking a lot. That's how you see that she's in different parts of the house when she wakes up. And you're like, okay, what's all this gonna lead up to? So I was very, very interested in how this movie was actually gonna end. Now, when I saw how it ended, I was kind of like, I mean, okay. I mean, I'll give it a pass, But what did you think about the ending of the film? Without giving any spoilers.
I can't really think of like an ending that would have been like worse or better. I don't know. It just felt fitting felt fitting for the movie. I was like, where else do you go with this?
I remember we were in the theater and someone behind us said, yo, what the was that ending? It's because of how it abruptly ended after that. Like, it wasn't like, let me tell you, I don't know if they ran out of the budget or anything like that, but the movie literally, like, something happened at the end and that's the ending of the movie. Like, there's no type of 5 months later. The ending of the movie, 2 seconds later, credits roll. So I'm like, God damn.
I don't know. I don't think there needed to be anything else.
I don't know. I hate endings like that because it's kind of like you just rush the ending. You're like, oh, let's get out of here while we can. I don't know. That's just how I see those endings. I never like those. Even like I said, dude behind us was like, what the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I always see. I hate endings like that. But go ahead. You go ahead. Like, you want to say something?
I don't know. I just feel like that ending was kind of like it was just like left up again to interpretation. Like, is she gonna be okay after this?
Yeah.
What more is there to really know? She was contemplating taking her life.
Yeah.
It's just like after that, it's like, get out of that house.
Yeah.
If there is a demon there, if that was really the intention, if it really wasn't up to interpretation, if that really is the case, just get out of that house. Don't take your life. To me, it was just like, it's wrapped up. There's not really much else to say to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really need anything.
Yeah, but I definitely think if you're just coming here just for the jump scares and stuff like that, you don't see those until the third act, and you don't even see that many of those. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all might see a couple of them.
There's one moment where it was like loud as fuck. It was just like she was asleep.
Oh yeah, she was.
It was super obnoxious. It was super obnoxious.
That was one of the moments when she was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
She was But sometimes you can pretty much tell when she's dreaming, like moments like that. But sometimes you don't know exactly when she's dreaming and stuff. So it's kind of confusing in some moments. But I think it's intended to be confusing like that. Now let's get into some of the cast members that we have here. I want to talk about Sarah Goldberg. She played her best friend in the film. I just want to talk about her really quick. I thought she was great in the film. If you're just asking me, like, she didn't get in the way, and she, like, the purpose of her character, she was kind of like a therapist in the film, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, throughout the whole entire film, she's pretty much yo, look, I agree with you. She sounds like a therapist throughout the whole entire film. And towards the ending of the film, she really becomes a huge part of the plot. So I like Sarah Gold. I've seen her in other roles. It's funny because I always see her in some type of horror flick. So she did great. I want to talk about the other guy. There's pretty much like two other main characters here, or another main character here. And that is the black guy. What's his name? Vandal Curtis Hall. I think that's how you say his name. He was dope. He didn't bother me at all. Usually I always think characters like the character he played in the film are kind of annoying. But in here, I was kind of like, okay, he works. He's not in the way either. All these characters that they set up in these films, or at least in this film, it really worked. They serve their purpose. That's what I'll say. What we say about the supporting characters?
They're fine. They did their job.
Yeah, like they didn't get in the way.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They didn't do too much to like impress me, but they didn't really. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. So next thing we can talk about is
I think I like the aspect of this in terms of like the stakes is just like there's no one that dies. There's no real like threat, but
there is though. But
no, that's what I'm saying. What I like is the threat is more so her inner turmoil. Throughout the film.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, people die, but it was like like the main characters in the film or something like that.
Yeah,
even the same.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
There's people, but that was past tense stuff that has already happened. So.
Yeah. So this movie's about an hour and 50 minutes. I will say it does feel like it. I think the pacing was it worked. The pacing was fine with it. I see some films where it's literally all over the place. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did like the camera work in this film. Like, there's spots where it's like, you guys even see it in the trailer or anything like that. Let me make sure I can pull it up for you guys. But there's points where she's like looking out of a peephole. And when she's looking out that peephole, you can literally like see like a human body there. Here, like I have it on the screen right here. You can really see like a human body. Oh, I can't even see it. But you guys can see like a body right here. I like that. I like that in the film. What do you think about the camera work?
Yeah, some creative techniques going.
Yeah, very, very creative. There's
some nice little shots too. I remember one shot was just the water, and it was
that aspects
lit pretty well. Yeah.
Aspects like that remind me of The Invisible Man, like how they'll go into a spot where it's like she doesn't, and we don't really see anything, but we know something's right there. It's kind of like The Invisible Man, same way. So I do like, and I like you said, I really like the creative aspects, of definitely of scenes like that, like especially like when we get more into like the demon and we start to see him more. It's always like that fit. It's always always looking like this, So yeah, I did like that.
Can I say something?
What's up?
It was like the exposition was a little heavy-handed when he was like explaining things.
Who are you talking about? The demon?
Spoiler-related things, but like the demon.
Oh yeah,
it was kind of corny. I was like, and that's like one of the reasons why I like my interpretation way better, because it's just like that's really corny. That's really dumb, and I don't like it.
Yeah, but the thing I would say is that like with the demon, he was kind of like, like I said, he was trying to get Rebecca Hall, aka Beth, the entire film, but couldn't get her. So that's why that's why he went to the boyfriend. Now I did like. Because usually I hate when movies do this, but they start to explain like how the boyfriend killed himself. You get more of the boyfriend's backstory throughout the film. And I thought that was handled very well. Now, when the demon ended up popping up, or whatever, if you don't want to call him demon, you don't call him demon, whatever you want to call him. Whenever the entity ended up showing up, I kind of thought he was goofy. Like, just
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Like the form he took, I'm not going to spoil it. But the form he took, I'm just kind of like, man, I'm not scared of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you do like very hurtful things. You kill people, but I ain't scared of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially how like whenever she's going through him with it, like whenever he's talking and explaining everything, It don't work. First of all, the voice don't even work either. So I don't know. I just didn't like it. What do you think about like the voice of the what you call it?
Ain't it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was it. You know?
Yeah, that's why I kind of like my interpretation where it's just like, really? That's kind of goofy. Really? That's kind of goofy. Really? That's kind of goofy.
But maybe the movie,
like it just like to me, it's just like
my thing is maybe the movie intended to be goofy. You know, maybe.
Yeah, but like that doesn't work for the movie for me.
Yeah.
And that's why like what makes the movie better is the way I see it. You know.
Yeah.
So like even if that was the canon thing, like where the director was like, yeah, no, that's it, or the writers were like, that's the intended thing. I'm like, no, not for me.
So you're like, no, I see it this way.
I choose to see it this way, like, because it's just so goofy and dumb. I don't like the explanations for any of the things. I just don't.
That's respectable.
I like Rebecca Hall's performance. Great performance. I like the camera work. Great camera work. I like generally where most of the story kind of went. But like, yeah, just some of that stuff. I was like, if I interpret it a certain way, it works, and if I interpret it the other way, it does not work at all for me, and it's really goofy and dumb, and that's where I'm like, okay, I can rework this in my mind to make it a better movie, and that's what I'm choosing to do. That's what I'm choosing to do.
So your ending explained. Is it just like what you think the movie did?
Well, not only
was it what you wanted the movie to do?
It's both, really, because like when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, yeah, I think this is like vague enough to where like I could see somebody interpreting it this way, and this is kind of how I interpret it in a way. Because I was just thinking to myself, I was like, you know, like this seems like some of these explanations is something someone can conjure up in their mind of like, you know, this is an explanation for this and this. You know, I can't go too spoiler related, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we give our ratings on the film. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. It's just that the only thing that bothered me was just the third act, you know, just how they did the third act. Because I'm telling you, that first and second act, man, I was on board. I wanted to know how the movie was going to end. And that third act, I was kind of like, okay, whatever. This works. It's fine. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think it's definitely a watch. You're just going to be confused when you watch it. You go ahead.
So yeah, if I boil it down to my interpretation of the film, I would give it pretty much an 8 out of 10. If I boil it down to like intent or whatever, if like that is supposed to be the canon thing, it's a way worse film by that point, writing wise. It would be like a 6 out of 10 by that point. But generally, like I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10 overall.
Okay, that's not too bad. Y'all first time finding our channel, you gotta hit the subscribe button. Also, the video, tell us your guys' thoughts, complaints, criticism, stuff like that down below. And hey, we'll see you guys in the next one.